Heyo, Muddy Mike, live and worldwide, coming at ya. This one's for JW, per your request. Some more rock magazines, and I'm going really deep in the archives here, and pulling out these guys. So we got 1987. What do you say? What do you say to 1987? Concert Shots magazine. This one was from May back in the day, and this one is featuring Poison. Later on in the magazine, you're going to see a bunch of shots and uh, info and articles about them. This one also has the Bon Jovi Nikki Six pullouts in it, and a bunch of stuff with Rat, Van Halen, Hurricane. If you guys remember Hurricane, of course, Guns N' Roses at the time. Triumph, Quiet Riot, The Fix, Gene Loves Jezebel. I don't know how that one got into the mix, but somehow it did. Um, let's see, Jakey Lee, Bruce Kulick, and King Cobra from back in the day. And there's another one, and this one's going to 1987 also. This is featuring Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen on the front cover here, with of course a Kramer guitar, which was hugely popular at the time, and they're talking about the Floyd Rose here on the cover. Um, Again, one of the major headliners of the time, Van Halen, of course. So let's start off. And to get it going here, I figured why not do some Headbangers Ball from back in the day and actually play it. So we'll do that as we go here. We'll have some tunes, we'll have the magazine, and then we'll do some chat back and forth and see what you guys think about that. Alright, so here's a little intro for you. Let's get it going. Headbangers Ball style from back in the day. Get your pizza ready. Get your adult beverage ready. Because we're doing it old school today.
We're going to see the video in a while. We also have some videos from Dio, Helix, Iron Maiden, and the boys from TNT are coming to stop by for a visit. Is that enough metal for you or what? Let's start it off with a new one from Crew. This is Wild Side.
Alright, so what do you say? Some Headbangers Ball going on. Doing some rock magazines. And having your best adult beverage. Alright.
From their sixth album. I'm the one and only Blackie Lawless, and this is Chris Holmes. Speak for them, Chris. Sometimes he has to stop.
The late great Chris Holmes.
About monsters that I have, especially in the new videos. This is one that walks around.
Still alive and kicking. Well, just kind of out of the scene at this time, right? You gotta love this stuff. Headbangers Ball, 1987. Ghoulies. Wow, check it out.
We got some new friends here. These are the guys from TNT. This is Ronnie. This is Tony.
TNT, also from back in the day. Pretty impressive.
How does a singer from San Diego get hooked up with three Norwegians? I mean, is that some sort of a mutation or something?
All right, so let's get right into it. Some concert shots. You already seen the front cover there, so we're gonna go ahead with that and see what we got going on the inside. All right, King Cobra. I mean, they were popular, not hugely popular, I wouldn't say. Kind of got lost into the mix from back in the day, I would think. You got Quiet Riot right there. Of course, you have Richie Sambora, Bon Jovi guitarist, and Robin Crosby from Rats. Yes, 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 yes. Playing his Jackson. He loved those Jackson guitars, yes. The King V, most known for playing the King V. Next page we got Stephen Piercy from Rat. Ratting and rolling back in the day. And I gotta say, when I was in LA and we head out and we hit the Sunset Strip, just going into those places, knowing that, you know, those bands did grace those stages at some point in time, you know, it was pretty, you know, spectacular, you know, heading back and checking out the scene, the rainbow, whatnot. All right, so here we go. Rats dancing undercover.
I'll tell you one thing though.
Queensryche.
When we have gone to Europe is that even though you might not have as many people there as we have here in America, the fans there are dedicated beyond belief. I mean, we just
so as Headbangers Ball's going in the background, we'll kind of go through some of these pages here.
Those fans were there with us, note for note. Listen, you got a new video coming up now. It's called Everyone's.
And this is again when this first hit the scene. Rat doing Undercover. Dancing Undercover when that album came out. And here they are stating it's the third time around LP wise for the rodents from LA, and they would have you believe that things are different this time, only the cover, kiddies. So a lot of questions and answers here.
You guys have been touring with the group Circus.
Stephen Piercy, Robin Crosby, Warren DeMartini. Yes, the great Rat. And as of now, there's two different versions of Rat. If you're keeping up with them, you got the breakup, and you have Warren DeMartini no longer with them, and Stephen Piercy still with Juan Krausier. They have their version, and so does Bobby Bolatta and his band. To each of their own, you know. It'd be great if they could just all come together and get it, you know, straightened out, but that may or may not ever happen. So you have what you have, and you got to hope for the best. So here's a shot of Robin Crosby with his King V Jackson. Bass player Juan Krausier. And Warren DeMartini with a snakeskin Charvel. Great guitar player. Not quite sure what he's up to lately. Last I knew, he had a video on YouTube, and it was basically about him and his guitar tone. There's a lot of people who was asking about that, and he was doing some sort of seminar, and that obviously came up. At the time, of course, you had Queensryche, Jeff Tate, doing their thing. A little bit different in that whole scene, from at least the hair metal scene. Some more shots right there. But they made their own way out of it, and
most guys in metal bands are either gangsters or hoodlums, you know. So
there's Michael Wilton, great guitar player from Queensryche.
Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you for coming by. Thank you. Okay, it's time for the brand new video from some band called Wasp. This is Scream Until You Love It.
Let's see if we can get a better shot of this. The guys in Queensryche here at the bottom. Pretty cool though. Yeah, no tremolo at the time, so I thought that was a little different, especially for those types of bands, you know. But he had his own style, and of course he played on a lot of those great records with Ozzy, so
The irreplaceable, irresponsible.
Check this out. This is a shocker. Here we go. Welcome to the Battle Zone. Fighting back, Paul Di'Anno's Battle Zone. Paul Di'Anno from originally from Iron Maiden. That might be something to check out or look up because I totally forgot about this. Wow.
Of our American tour last year. And it's got
I'm just skipping through some of this, and again, it had nothing to do with what the scene we're talking about. And then they're going to get into Quiet Riot again here. A little Quiet Riot. Again, at the time, hugely popular all over MTV. I remember coming home from school and turning on MTV, and you would have a whole block of these videos for like a half hour or an hour. And of course, they were always on it. Triumph, making it big at the time. Great band, for sure.
Their eyes move independently, their ears move independently, their lips and their mouths move to the point where they can make human-like expression. And I gotta tell you, it's one of the more incredible things I've ever done in my life. I mean, as they sat on my lap, I bought it. Anyway, right now, we've got an LA band that's doing great these days.
And this is when they very, very first came out, Guns N' Roses at the time. They just hit the scene in LA, and these guys had an interview with them, and you can just tell by even the pictures, these are really early. Really early. And I haven't seen this in so long, so it's pretty interesting here to see it again. Right here, Izzy says, guitarists don't like to take showers. We like the grease to build up on our fingers. It makes playing more fluent. So I thought that's pretty interesting. And there you go. You got Motley Crue, of course.
Yesterday, the new Wasp album hit record stores. It's called The Headless Children. And this time around, Black Keys Co. have sort of cleaned up their act. That's right, Theater Rock, all of Wasp no longer exists. No more circular saws and flaming cotton pieces.
And I remember them going into this article pretty in depth about how they met and so on and so forth. So there's a shot of Vince Neil.
How you doing? All right, yourself. Good to see you here. Good. New album, The Headless Children.
And again, this is where they get into Poison at the end here. Just broke onto the scene. Started taking things by storm back then in 87, 88.
Oh, we're not gay. No, I'm not the PS there. About new direction with this album, there's a lot you guys have to say, especially with
We got CC DeVille.
This is a very serious record.
And at the time, he was playing BC Rich quite a bit, so I imagine that is a BC Rich.
Issues, primarily drug abuse, which I feel is the single biggest problem we have, not just in America, but in the world.
And
with terrorism and things like that.
Ricky Rocket.
And I spent 15 months making this record. And I came to the conclusion
with his drum set back in the day.
I had some time off. I went for 4 years and my feet didn't touch the ground. And I'm the kind of person that prides himself in having himself together. And I'm here to tell you, folks, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. And when you go for such a long period of time, you said you're clean with yourself. And one of the things that I discovered was that about 95% don't really know the amount of responsibility that they have. And I denied it about a year and a half ago, like I said.
Again, totally big at the time, rocking the scene, breaking it out, and taking it by storm, all over MTV at that time.
What you're saying is really not that important, but what happens is that you go do a television show or you do
Got Bobby Dahl.
And, you know, some kid is
He's some black and white.
Rock god on the radio. He's believing every word that guy is saying. So you get to a point where you start to look around at what's around you. When I was doing or writing the lyrics for the Headless Children, somebody said, well, where'd that come from? I said, well, over the internet.
And ZZ Top, you know, they were doing their thing at the time too.
And that's what I saw.
They're all over MTV, still rocking hard now.
Projection in the show, and I edited film for 6 weeks on it. And and I saw about 50 years worth of hell condensed into about 7 minutes.
And
And I don't
Hurricane,
against anybody
another
or
band that was,
my father or whatever. I
in the
understand we're
mix
talking
at the
about
time,
civilians
MTV, for sure.
when this genre could be deemed as a very unattractive or unpopular
You
point
could
of view.
definitely still
But
look
the
them
things
up
I'm
and see
saying
some
are not,
YouTube videos
again,
on
my
them.
opinion. They're fact.
But that's it for this
We'll
one.
talk more about
You
this.
got
We gotta show a couple of
Quite
videos.
right on the
Hold the
back
thought.
there.
We'll be right back.
Pretty
Right
interesting
now,
though.
report Ozzy Osbourne closed my
Concert
eyes
shots, 1987.
The ball continues. Black Lawler is still with us here, and we've been talking about.
And we're just gonna extend it here with one more. This is Circus,
Um,
1987.
You covered the Who song, "The Real Me." How does that fit in the theme? Well,
In the back here, we still got our Headbangers Ball going, so I think that's pretty cool.
The image of Wasp and or myself for so long was this larger than life type thing.
I love these flashback Headbangers Ball videos. Pretty awesome.
But the things that we're trying to say now,
And of course, so there we go.
People have to understand
Eddie VH with his Kramer. I think that's the SM1.
Of what's happening in the world.
Pretty cool.
I have to come from an honest to God human being. In other words, I've got to open myself up to let's.
And Keel. Check out Keel.
And I thought, what a great way to say that.
Great band back in the day. Still out there.
I was in London about 2 months ago, and I sent the song. I thought, well, I'm never gonna hear it.
Promoting PV amps. PV amps.
And he said that he's very, very much.
Very popular back then, still are. And there you go, January 31st, 1987. Alright, cover story, Whitesnake Special. So Whitesnake is featured in this one, along with many others from back in the day.
What was it, a personal experience? Well, I think,
Dio Megadeth hit the U.S. Kiss Army marches on. So, January 3rd to February 10th, you had the tour with Dio, you had Megadeth. Check out the dates, they show all the dates here, still pretty interesting. You got Steve Vai, take a little responsibility. Ibanez Gem.
Don't get in a freeway out here, or get in a car, go on a freeway, and kill somebody and his family. Have a good time, do whatever you want, just don't blow up the guy next to you.
And you've always seen these. Were the penny saver things here, where you could go ahead and here it is right there, the Poison, Whitesnake, Dio at the time. They all had you could grab a cassette. You go into debt forever with these CBS Columbia House. Never got into them. Glad I never did.
If any of you people know anything about the way rental companies work and cameras,
and
if you rent on Friday,
you got some more ads here, and this is for Ludwig and Guild. Yeah, all the guitars are kind of built the same way around that time. That strap body, humbucker, single coil, and Floyd Rose. Same one for this one. This was Guild. And it's kind of weird to see Guild have a guitar like that. This one was called the Burnside. They're not known for that type of guitar, but they all fell to it back then. Everything kind of blended together, looked the same, and that was just part of the scene. So even Guild got in onto that type of look of guitars and whatnot. Some Wasp going in the background, what do you say? Next we got some Seymour Duncan live wire active pickups. That was huge at the time. That's when active pickups were just booming, getting onto the scene, and everybody's getting into them. And if this isn't a sign of the times, I don't know what is. Spandex pants from Rock Huggers. So there you go. You can get boa, it says. What's it say? Boa, gator, zebra, and checkerboard. If that's not a sign of the times, I don't know what is. there you go. You can get your official Circus magazine t-shirt. And then another ad for EMG pickups. Of course, very huge at the time. They got a word find in here. Go figure. Joe Elliott from Def Leppard. Just when Pour Some Sugar on Me was rocking every radio across the country. Uh, the new Jackson Tremolo, so they're featuring that for gear. I always like these magazines because if you were a guitar player at the time, this was like there was no internet, so you were going by what you seen in the magazine. You go ahead, take that to your local music store. Said, I think I want this. Let me try it out. Let me play it, and hopefully they had them in stock, and that sort of thing. There's another ad for Select pickups by EMG. Charvel guitars. Charvel Jackson. Always known for that pointy headstock. I used to love that. Yeah, by the way, I just picked up a Jackson JS Spectra bass, so I'll be doing a review on that shortly. There's some movies at the time that were hitting the scene. Star Trek 4 and Who's That Girl with Madonna. Wow. Pretty interesting. You got another ad here for Sony cassettes. If you wanted to make your best mixtape, you probably had one of those.
Yeah. This thing's kind of interesting. I don't know if they showed this, the album cover or not, but
Video? Remember that video? A great video with Cliff Amal. Yes.
These people that you see here are all obviously, I mean, they're the real party boys.
Yeah, Grim Reaper.
They're all in there, all the fun guys.
The bottom there, White Snake. Ad for Carvin amps.
And we're using a thing
Pretty
called
cool.
screen projection in the tour.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And as it does, it turns into a giant television set. It's about 12 feet across. And you then start to see how all these guys became famous. And it's some pretty...
Vince Neil.
I edited these films for about 6 weeks. And I'm here to tell you, when I'm up seeing The Headless Children, and you see Hitler behind me doing a speech in Nuremberg, it's some really heavy stuff, but I want it to be taken in the proper way.
Aerosmith, Ragdoll, Def Leppard, Animal, Motley Crue, You're All That I Need. And this is where you can get the lyrics, If you were jamming in a cover band, there you go. You had them right there. All you had to do is write it down on a piece of paper, take it with you to practice.
Are trying to glorify what it is that you're about to see. If you do not learn from history, then you're damned for it.
Alright, so we're about halfway through that mag, and we're still watching Headbangers Ball here.
Some really hairy stuff. I mean, when I was in Europe,
Time era.
I was in Germany, and they made me aware that they had just had their national elections about 2 weeks before we were there. They have a new Nazi party, and they won 13% of the vote. I mean, these guys just don't get it, man. I mean, how many times you got to hit them over the head? So hopefully this show will bring something to light.
Here we go. So,
we're going everywhere.
Doc and Duo does Boomers, GHS Boomers, and actually that's what I still play to this day, GHS Boomers. Got hooked on them, best sound in my mind for what I play, and great sounding strings. Here we go, we got Guns N' Roses Paradise City lyrics, Rush Time Stand Still. There we go.
We got a new album coming out.
White Snake, top 10 years.
September 13th. Oddly enough, that's Friday the 13th. It's funny how things work out like that, isn't it?
Get some wafts going on here.
The last command. And speaking of records, I want to thank you people for something.
There's Vivian Campbell with his nice Swan Kramer.
And we're going to do it in just a minute. It has just become the leading import single of all time. And I want to thank you people very, very much. But before we do it, I need to know something about it. I want to know how many of you rivet heads come here tonight looking for a little bit of pussy.
Blackie the
I
Madman.
understand the feeling, people. As I look into this audience, and I see all these dynamite-looking Southern California ladies, and I just start getting so hot, I just start stinging myself all over. And there's only one thing I can do to relieve my tension. Now I want to know, how many of you here do it the way I do it? How many of you here fuck like a beast?
And you got Dave Mustaine, Megadeth there.
You must be an animal.
And you got Rush. A little bit of Dokken. Definitely doing that LA thing. Of course, George Lynch. All right. Okay, so we got Gray White also. Still everybody playing BC Riches at the time. Clear as day. Guns N' Roses still featured in this magazine also. You know, things were changing on a dime back then, so you went to go pick these up, you know, month after month to see what was new and exciting, what was coming out. There's Kiss, still crazy after all these years. Boys in America Part 2, The Plot Unfolds. So, still going strong, obviously. And there's CC's guitar that was in a lot of videos, was this one right here. There's another shot, Bret Michaels. Pretty amazing, even back then in the day, the back issues for Circus magazine were sold out. And these days, the only way you're gonna find those are hopefully at a garage sale. Hard to find, that's for sure. Some more articles here. You got Joe Elliott, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi. Steve Adler in his mini kit. So, in the day when he was with the guys, the Casio guitar, pretty amazing. That was big bucks at the time, so. You got Jimmy Bain from Dio. some bass tab in there. See what else we got going on here. Look at you got Guild still going. And that's just about it from this Circus magazine. So there we go. There we go. We went through another couple there, and hope you enjoyed it. Come back, check again. Thank you guys all for watching. Appreciate you hanging out, and we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.